welcome back. As you can tell from my channel name, I really love my cat, Julian. I've had him since he was a kitten. He's been there for me through thick and thin. He's just the coolest little dude. He's freaking adorable, and I love him. And the other day I was watching a Sorry Girls video. Somebody photoshopped the head or face of Becky's dog onto this like old-timey captain outfit, so I thought, oh my gosh, I have to do that for Julian. He can be my Captain Wentworth, or my Cat-ptain Wentworth, if you will, because sometimes he sits out on our porch and just looks longingly over the veranda like a sea captain looking out across his deck being like, ah, when will I return from war? You can almost imagine him reading Captain Wentworth's letter in Persuasion. I can listen no longer in silence. I must speak to you by such means as are within my reach. You pierce my soul, I am half agony, half hope. You know, except instead of love, it would be like him longing for cat food or like cuddles. It's a little less intense. I decided to Photoshop him into the captain that he was always meant to be. I know what you're thinking. This is weird. This is a waste of time. The finished product is kind of scary. Who would want something like that? Me. And hopefully you. Let's get into it. So the first thing I did was find a suitably cute picture of Julian, my cat. Yes, he is named after Julian Barrett from the Mighty Boosh. If you don't know who they are, look up Old Greg. You'll be horrified and delighted. I chopped his little head out of the picture, then I had to go on the hunt for just the perfect painted sea captain. Went to Wikimedia Commons, found a lovely chap with some really great hair who happened to be open source because he's more than 100 years old. Popped him into Photoshop and put Julian's head on top. I flipped it so that it would match up a little bit better with Ye Olde Sea Captain. Then everything went wrong. The screen went gray. I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't fix it. I use Photoshop all the time, and this has literally never happened to me before. I didn't know what was going on, so I Googled and tried to find a solution, but nothing was working. And then I went back into Photoshop and was preparing to create a new document, and it just fixed itself without me doing anything. So that was fun. So my next step was selecting Ye Olde Sea Captain's head and replacing it with the Smart Fill feature that Photoshop has. If you've never used it before, oh my god, it is literally the best thing ever. It was missing from my life. I was trying to clone stuff over top of it. Don't need to do that. Then I made Julian's head transparent. Yes, that is my cat's nickname, Julian. I made his head transparent, I stuck it on top of the now headless sea captain, and positioned it until it was just right. Then I traced around where the cravat, where the sea captain's cravat, that weird little neck thing is, because I wanted to make it look like some of Julian's fur was tucked into the cravat to make it look a little bit more realistic. So I cleaned that up, did a little bit more repositioning and fur refining, as one is wont to do. And then I adjusted the colors so it looked a little bit more in line with the darker, gloomier, more rustic painting. The results were middling. Then, to make it look like a painting, I used the wet brush tool. There's a really great tutorial that I'll link to below. I kind of made a hash of it and just hacked it, but I painted it enough so that it didn't look photorealistic, but it didn't look as bad as the oil paint style that is available within Photoshop. It was a little bit more time intensive, but I think the result was better. So I took a little bit of the background where it was plain to get some of that craglure, which I only know that word because of NBC's Hannibal.
Craquelure. It's French for the cracks that appear on an oil painting as it dries and becomes rigid with age.
Which is such a great show, even though it's super murdery, you should watch it. So I grabbed my craglure, made it black and white, bumped up the contrast a little bit, and then I overlaid it on Julian's face and rearranged it until it looked about right. Changed the transparency. Basically, it's a lot of playing around to try and get the right look. And then I added some highlights and some shadows to mimic the light in the painting a little bit better on the photo portion. And then it was time to go to Kinko's, print everything out real fancy, and then frame it and see if Julian approves, which he did, but he didn't want to be shown on camera. And also I sent this picture to my brother and his fiance, and she responded by saying, "Lol, that's both awesome and disturbing at the same time. I love it," which has pretty much been the universal reaction to it. Personally, I like it a lot, but it tends to scare people, so who knows? It's very niche. I'm very happy that Julian now has a fine artwork portrait of himself, and I hope that you can use this information to make your own old-timey portrait of your pet so you can freak out your friends and future relatives. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.